Fucking autoplay. Now let me change this up. Well, I think we all love radioactive spider blood. Spider-Man, officially known as Marvel's Spider-Man, in a move that honestly just kind of makes me think seriously. The Avengers game coming out soon-ish is officially referred to as Marvel's Avengers. So what we have is we can do a new game, or we can do New Game Plus. And I will let you guys decide, New Game or New Game Plus. New Game means we start from the beginning. New Game Plus means we start from the beginning, but with all of our gadgets, upgrades, and costumes unlocked. You think New Game, Ninja? Professor thinks plus. No hand holding. I had to hold my own hand for that. The X-Men theme's great. Bane thinks New Game plus. I'll be honest, now that Ninja said it, I'm kind of leaning towards a New Game anyway. And then unlocking stuff as we go. But you know what, as an apology, Professor, you get to choose the first costume we unlock. Bane, you get to choose the second. And hopefully you'll be okay with that. Subtitles, headphones. The amount of accessibility options in this is amazing. So yeah, you guys get to choose the costumes. Professor gets to choose the first one we unlock. Actually, the Amazing Bagman, or they call it Bombastic Bagman in this, should be available from the start. Who am I? You sure you want to know? The story of my life is not for the faint of heart. Someone told you I was just an ordinary guy, happy-go-lucky, trying to make his way in the world? Somebody lied. But yeah, since there were a bunch of costumes added in updates, this game has a bunch of costumes already unlocked, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, Mary Jane does actually look really good in this. I don't think the faces were modelled after anybody in particular, but the faces do look really good. Scarlet Spider is not available from the start, and on my original playthrough is what I spent most of the game in. So Scarlet Spider will be coming up. Professor, do you want to choose a costume? Do you know any of the costumes?
All units, level 4 mobilization. Location, Fisk Tower.
This game starts off so well. And like, I feel like this game has one of the best Spider-Man stories, not just in gaming, but in general. Speaking of Ben Reilly, I'm kind of disappointed that the actual Ben Reilly suit isn't available. You haven't played the game. Alright, we'll get a look at it later then, Professor, and we'll let you get a choice.
SWAT is 1084 at Fisk Tower. All units stand by. Warrant is en route.
This is such a good opening. If there's one complaint I have with the costumes in this game, it's that so many of them are variations on the standard costume. Coming through. Like, the swinging is so fun, and it is... The game is really well designed to set it up so...
Did you take him down yet?
No. We're at this tower, but
it's so easy to change a fuck-up into another stage of your movement.
This one needs to go by the book.
Come on, Yuri. I've been waiting 8 years for this.
You really want to help?
I was always more into symbiote Spider-Man, honestly, in PS1. Well, I know what you mean.
You got it. Almost there.
We should get to the costumes as an unlockable within the first hour. Did I check? I can't check costumes yet. Shame. Alright.
Hello?
Parker, where are you?
But yeah,
Must run through the demonstration at least once before the grant committee arrives.
Yes. Sorry. Yes. Dealing with a personal issue.
How many of the costumes are just variations on standard Spider-Man is really disappointing to me.
And get to my real job. Looks like Yuri called in the cavalry.
But yeah, if you remember back to the original, the PS1 Spider-Man game, there was the Scarlet Spider suit and there's the Ben Reilly suit, and I really like the Ben Reilly suit. It's the suit he wore when he stopped being the Scarlet Spider and became Spider-Man for a while.
Bring in the hammer.
Yeah, controlling Mary Jane and the surprise guest character is pretty cool, only on your first playthrough though. Because there's a lot of tension there and it's kind of interesting with the story. On New Game Plus, it's the kind of thing you wish you could skip. Especially since a big part of the appeal of New Game Plus is the carrying over of your skills that you've unlocked, and none of that matters when playing as the other characters.
Who's ready for their hot, fresh cup of bodily...
Jimmy! Who's attacking me? No one. There we go.
Gotta warn you, I'm feeling punchy today.
Get behind him!
Next customer.
Come in. The combat's really good as well. Although it does have a problem that we're definitely going to get into. Gentlemen.
Somebody just shoot him!
Man, Fisk has a lot of guys on his payroll.
The easiest comparison with the combat is definitely the Arkham series.
Spider-Man, what's your status?
Almost
I'm fighting
You?
dudes.
We're about to go in.
Be there soon. Can't wait to see Willie's face when you slap the cuffs on him.
Good old Vincent D'Onofrio. All good? You all good?
Okay, Yuri, all done. What's happening? Yuri? Yuri!
If there's one thing I'll criticize story-wise about this game, it's with how much happens that directly affects New York City as a whole. It's weird that Spider-Man's the only superhero in this game. Especially since, right, can I get up to this roof? We'll probably be able to spot it. There's Avengers Tower. There's also the thing you can see the Wakandan Embassy, although that doesn't suggest Black Panther is actually in the city. Nelson and Murdoch. Alias Investigations. Yeah, you can find the Netflix series hero locations, but the only hero you ever see in the game is Spider-Man. And when the events of this game directly affect New York City as a whole, it's weird that it's just Spider-Man.
He's the day, Willie.
Does whatever a spider can.
Hey, where you going? Catch! I'll clear a path. Follow me.
Get out of here, Spider-Man. We got this.
You sure about that?
Sorry to
Go.
break it to you, but you do not got this, buddy.
What's Spider-Man doing here? He's gonna mess everything
Someone's gonna get it in the face.
Thanks for the confidence boost, guys. I guess this is what they call a hostile workplace.
That was weird. Considering how little this game actually wants you to wall crawl, it's weird that I was on the wall there. Coming at you, Cleopatra. Yeah, the 90s cartoon was great for that. For feeling like the, like Spider-Man existed in a world with other heroes. And it's something a lot of superhero media has trouble with. The idea of being in a connected universe with other characters.
I think that's all of it.
Like, the Spider-Man PS4 game was good with that as well.
They shut the elevators down. Take the stairs. I prefer a more direct approach.
Here we go.
Spider-Man, status.
Heading to the upper floors and hoping nobody turns on the elevators.
Our choppers are taking fire. Looks like Fisk has armed men on every floor.
Every floor.
Desperate.
And he's hitting us with everything he's got.
Isn't this like a
Find
50-floor
him and
building?
end this.
Not yet. We just picked up chatter. They're wiping all their data servers. We need that evidence if we want to put him away for good.
Okay, server room it is.
Okay, you need the evidence if you're going to put him away
Call
for
from
good.
May. Better answer.
But did you
Hi, Aunt May.
initiate this raid without evidence?
Watching a superhero movie. What's up?
I just wanted to make sure we're still on for dinner tomorrow night.
Totally. Listen, I gotta go.
Like, if you
Okay.
need the evidence you've got here to actually put Fisk away, then what's the basis for the raid?
That's my cue.
Coming at you. Spidey-Man. He's okay. That's actually a point, if you ever knock somebody off a rooftop or anything, that you'll be able to see. Where are the dudes? Oh, there we go, somebody appeared. If you knock somebody off a rooftop or a high place to somewhere where they will fall to their death, then they'll be automatically webbed to the nearest surface.
Hold him so he can't jump.
How exactly do you think this ends well for you?
And it's kind of a neat touch.
Tired of you. So am I. We can't let him win.
You think there's an option for you guys to win?
Take a break. On to the next one.
That guy's probably dead. He looked like he landed on his head.
Kick his ass. Regret your life choices yet? Gotta find that server room before there's no evidence left.
Oh, I wonder if that's it.
If I go in this way, they'll destroy all the evidence. I should look for a sneaky way in. There we go.
Okay.
It's like my own
One thing I
private
do like
vengeance.
about this game's story that a lot of
This
Spider-Man
may be a dirty
media
criminal,
doesn't
but
do
he has remarkably clean
is
air.
this is a Spider-Man who's been Spider-Man for like 8 years.
Any faster.
They're so cute when they're oblivious.
And more often than not, in any kind of Spider-Man media, cartoons, movies, whatever, you see a Spider-Man who's just starting out.
Is this
And that gets kind of
I
dull.
forgot my password.
Don't let him near the console.
And so this game having a Spider-Man who's been doing this for years is really cool. I like it.
Stall him.
It's like how one of the things I really like about the Batman animated series that's really understated about it is Batman has already been Batman for years by the time that series starts.
Gotta access that console before everything's gone. Let's see just how good their security is. Aw, you guys forgot the latest kernel patch.
Hiding so.
Hiding.
Even for you.
Says the guy
Hiding.
frantically erasing his search history.
After all these years.
I dropped down in the middle of a room full of dudes and then took those dudes out while they were looking at
But
me.
that's
What's
part of my
cowardly?
charm, isn't it?
Damn you. Get that door down now!
Yeah, it's a good idea. I like it. And I need to actually watch Into the Spider-Verse.
Look around you. I did this. What have you ever?
It's like we know this game has Miles Morales in it. He was
Well,
part of
that
the
was that time I took
advertising
down a
before the
pompous,
in the
overstuffed crime
pre-release
lord
stuff.
before
Without me, the scum I kept in check will run rampant.
And I think the idea of making Spider-Man into a mentor character is a good idea. That the addition of Miles Morales adds. It's a new dynamic for Spider-Man.
Ready for the main event.
The game doesn't do that, but it's a cool idea for a new dynamic. Everybody? I guess not.
Yuri, an explosion just...
I saw it. Fisk could have the whole place wired. I'm sending in a bomb unit.
I'll make sure no one gets in their way.
Kill him, or the boss will kill us. You like the fireworks? Got more.
You like the fire extinguisher?
Figure out we're not playing yet.
Who said you were
That's all
playing?
of them.
Yeah, I've seen bits of stuff like that. I know Spider-Gwen's a
guys.
major focus on it.
Guess bombs are part of Willie's getaway plan? Sounds like they're trapped.
You go
But I've not gotten around to actually watching it yet. It's one of those things, it seems to be a kind of thing of an animated feature that wasn't
Evacuate the building!
like a major focus of the studio. Got more creative control and was able to do more with it. And it's a cool idea.
I'll find them.
So if you've ever read Spider-Man, coming up is an homage to an iconic shot
Get out fast. If you can walk, help the injured. Got it?
from one of the earlier issues. I like, this is a good shot whenever it happens. Doesn't carry the same weight as it did when it first happened in the comics, but it's still pretty cool.
Spider-Man, it's Yuri.
How we doing, Captain?
Could be better. Our choppers took a beating. We just had to ground our last one. If Fisk calls in a chopper, we have no one to stop it from landing.
And no one to chase him if he flies away.
Why do I get the feeling that's what he was planning all along?
Because he probably was.
I do need to get around to Into the Spider-Verse.
Yuri, get EMTs up here, fast!
I'm more interested in that than I am in Far From Home. Rocket launcher.
Incoming!
Really? I can't throw the rockets back yet?
Somebody
That's disappointing. Is that an upgrade? I forget.
That's enough out of you. More rockets? A little excessive, don't you think?
See, you know, there's the problem with rocket launchers, guys. They're not great in close encounters. Of the third kind. Are you done? You seem done.
Rocket day or something?
I think you missed there, buddy.
Oh, you just made a big mistake.
Homecoming is kind of knives do work in close encounters. You are right, Clem. Leon was smart. Homecoming is kind of it's enjoyable enough, though it's a very generic Marvel movie of its time. The main standout feature of Homecoming is Michael Keaton as the Vulture. It's honestly a fantastic performance. It's kind of like with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, how it was kind of like, yeah, it's more Guardians of the Galaxy, but Kurt Russell as Ego was fantastic.
I'm in his ass kicking move.
Okay, room is clear. Bomb squad must be somewhere ahead. Hope they're okay.
I really like the idea of having older, more experienced actors
You guys all right?
playing these
We were just
really
about to
good
call for
villains.
backup.
I think I'm it.
Lead the way. We'll be right behind you.
Okay.
Heads up, boss.
Does whatever a spider can. I love Michael Keaton in anything he's in. He's just a great actor, and it's great to see him getting more work.
So you guys were in bed with Fisk all along? Oh no, I'll never get that image out of my head.
But yeah, like, if
So your plan
Homecoming is
didn't
worth
work.
watching for anything,
Plan B,
it's Michael
getting
Keaton.
Kicked in the face.
He makes a great Vulture. Like, really menacing in a really good way. But also an understandable villain. Who, like, you can understand why he's doing what he's doing, and for a good portion of it, he's sympathetic.
Hey Yuri.
Until it
So
becomes,
some
like,
of your
really
guys want
menacing.
Fisk's
It's really
payroll.
good.
Good news is, they were Willie's last line of defense. I'm right outside his office.
Take him down, now.
With pleasure.
Got the permission. Look at my spider booty. It's like Captain America and Winter Soldier had Robert Redford as one of its major villains. But the problem with that is, like, Winter Soldier is
your
primarily a
Don't
conspiracy
forget
thriller.
the hyphen between spider and man.
Get the chopper ready. I won't be long.
Yeah, Michael Keaton's great. It's great to see him doing more.
Surprised you made it this far. But your foolishness ends now.
You sure about that? Oh no. Lass.
You do know I can still see you, right?
8 years of this insolence.
Oh no, big ass turrets.
Oh, for me? You shouldn't have. Gotta wait for an opening.
Just me.
It's reloading.
What are you doing?
What does it look like? I'm breaking your stuff. Did you really think I wasn't going to come here and cause property damage?
How is this happening?
What's wrong, Willie? You seem angry.
I will destroy you.
Take your best shot.
Property damage. Everybody loves property damage. I think you missed that, big guy.
Hire some annoyance.
Hang in there. It'll be over soon.
You see, Fisk, you're not dealing with a Spider-Man who doesn't realise that you can hit like a fucking truck. You're dealing with a Spider-Man who's not going to get that. Yeah. The last movie I saw him in for a long time was Jack Frost, if you remember that.
You are everything that's wrong with this city.
Really?
Huh. I was gonna say the same to you.
You know what to do, men.
Surrounded.
What part of does whatever a spider can don't you guys get? Hmm. The interesting thing is, like, there's two movies with the name Jack Frost. There's the Michael Keaton family comedy where he plays a snowman, a guy who dies and is brought back as a snowman, which was always kind of weird. Then there's the really weird low-budget horror flick, which is most notable for having Shannon Elizabeth in it. Seems to be having trouble there, Chunky. Yep, you know what? Fair enough. I'd sing the, I'd do the Chunky Kong section of the DK rap, but I don't remember it. So I'm gonna settle for calling him Chunky Kong. And hitting him with things. And, trying not to get hit. I don't think he appreciates this.
Willie.
I haven't even started trying.
Really? Kind of worrying. You know, if you're not bluffing. Maybe don't do that next time. Oh dear. Oh, thank God he didn't do a Bane. Oh, did you look at that? We're in mid-air. Guess who has the advantage? Does whatever a spider can. I think that's basically most of her filmography as it is. Like, there's the stuff I can actually name. There's Jack Frost.
Yeah, maybe later.
The first two American Pies. She might have reappeared in the fourth American Pie, the reunion. I don't remember. I only watched it once. And Scary Movie 1. You know, I've never actually watched 13 Ghosts.
Finally off to Rikers, huh? You know, I think you've got more enemies in there than I do.
If you think this will be more than a minor inconvenience...
She was in the reunion,
Gotta go.
yeah.
Hey, good luck, Willie. I have a feeling you're gonna need it.
See you later.
Idiot! I'm the one who kept order in this city! 1 month! In 1 month you'll wish you had me back!
I can believe that.
The Kingpin is heading to prison.
Does whatever a spider
I
can.
feel like I should celebrate. Maybe take a vacation.
Level up. Skill tree. Web throw. Perfect dodge. Swing kick. I want perfect dodge. I was actually kind of missing this when we were in the tower. Which tower? That tower? I don't know. Well, off to work.
Parker, where are you? The committee will be here soon. We need to run an equipment check.
I'm almost there.
Does
Blocks away.
whatever a spider
Guess
can.
I'll just do it myself.
No, don't. It's not safe. Gotta love Doc's enthusiasm, but sometimes it gets him into trouble. Better get there before he hurts himself.
You know, I saw something, I think it was yesterday, that said, if the world's spiders all decided to work together, they could eat all of humanity in a year. Which was a fun, it was a fun thought. Boy, am I glad I don't have motion sickness. She was in James Bond Everything or Nothing. I completely forgot, which is weird, because I really like that game. Because they put a lot of effort into the production value to try and make it like a Bond movie. It's like they got Pierce Brosnan's likeness. Like, Nightfire had Pierce Brosnan's likeness, but not Pierce Brosnan himself. But with Everything or Nothing, they got his likeness and his voice. They got Judi Dench, they got John Cleese. They got Shannon Elizabeth to play the Bond girl. They had the singer Maya, if you remember who she is.
You started without me.
Which is an R&B singer. Heidi Klum. Willem Dafoe plays the villain. It's like, if you ever thought to yourself, why isn't Willem Dafoe a Bond villain? He's the Bond villain of this game.
Power damper.
Agent of Fire is really good.
Oh man.
I'm not sure whether I prefer Agent of Fire or Nightfire though.
Not yet.
Hold on.
So our boss and the reason they were
Are you okay?
kind of being a little shy about saying who our boss is Otto Octavius. Which creates an interesting thought for me. We have a Spider-Man who's been around for 8 years who never dealt with Doc Ock. Which is interesting when Doc Ock was one of Spidey's earliest villains.
Exceeded our expectations. From a certain viewpoint, that's a very positive development.
It doesn't
Is it
smell
though?
very positive.
No, that's just Otto. He hasn't washed in
Let's
3
not get ahead
days.
of ourselves. Is there somewhere else we can discuss this?
Well, if you want
Maybe
to
you should
step
take the
into
rest
my
of the day off,
bedroom.
Peter. But we'll talk later.
Eh.
That was a disaster. How could the
Oh, that's
doctor
actually a
have
point
failed?
I forgot. Spider-Man
Doc
on
said take the day
PS4 is
off.
one of the games that I
have to
have
figure
the
out what
platinum
went
for.
Ooh, you are in bad
I've
shape,
really
little guy.
enjoyed this game. The future of robotics.
Let's see what's wrong with you.
Why do we spend so much time making robot arms so we don't have to sit on our hands anymore? Okay, so there's a lot wrong with this. Let's fix it by playing Pipe Dreams.
If I had been here to do the pre-check, I would have caught this. Got it.
There's a bunch of these, and for the most part, they're mostly optional. You've got to do all of them if you want the platinum. And they're never really an issue, especially if you're okay with puzzles like this. There
Nice. Okay, what next?
we go. No, there was basically no grinding in this game. There are challenge missions that you have to do, but the progress for them with the trophy is basically beat the challenge mission, not get a rank, not get a gold medal on them. You just have to beat them. I think the only trophies I'm missing for this game, like if we can get a look. And there's the platinum. Complete New Game Plus, which I haven't done. Is that bronze? Jeez. Ultimate difficulty, because I don't really want to go through on the hardest difficulty. And I think Ultimate difficulty was added afterwards, which is why it doesn't count towards the platinum. Same with New Game Plus, and then these two are from the DLC. And Spectacular is the silver medal. Didn't want to do that. So they're the only trophies I'm missing, but I got the platinum.
Let's see if that worked.
Okay, will it go better now?
New.
Much faster action. But seriously though, it does actually control a lot smoother now, and it can move itself fully up.
Doc's been testing new materials for the prosthetics. He asked me to review his work if I had time. May as well dig in now. Love the coffee at work. God bless that grant money.
Not a coffee man myself. Yeah, they're all DLC. Like I say, Ultimate difficulty I'm pretty sure was added after release, and New Game Plus was definitely added after release. So they're not required for the platinum, they're just separate trophies.
Hydrogel polymer composite. Strong, but there's a lot of impedance.
They're essentially extra trophies that exist pretty much just to make you feel like you've achieved something if you do them. You know, because you can't just have people...
Right. I should get out of here before I screw things up for Doc even more.
You can't just have people do something for the sake of doing something anymore. You have to give them a reward. Spidey-Man. I've heard he does whatever a spider can. My suit's all torn up. Still can't switch suits.
Spider-Man, it's Yuri.
Fisk make it to Rikers yet?
Not Rikers. Our boy qualifies for the VIP treatment. He's in the raft.
Ah, joining Scorpion, Electro, and the rest. Fisk should be honored. That's a steam company.
Joining Scorpion, Electro, Vulture, Rhino, and of course the most dangerous foe we've ever had, Stiltman.
Huh. Looks like Jameson's got a new episode out. Wonder what my #1 fan thinks about the Fisk takedown.
This is Just the Facts with J. Jonah Jameson, where listeners like you discuss the issues affecting our city with Pulitzer Prize-winning two-time Pulitzer Prize-winning former publisher of the Daily Bugle.
No, Venom is not in this. The symbiote suit isn't in this. Like, it's got a wide range of unlockable suits. The symbiote suit isn't one of them.
You'll get an autographed copy at no extra charge.
No personalizations. Don't ask. Not gonna get it. Welcome.
But yeah, no. Like, my opinion has always been 100% doesn't matter to me if I'm not having fun.
Okay, so not for nothing. You gotta give Spider-Man respect for taking down Wilson Fisk, right? I mean, one less mob boss is good for everyone.
The PS3 trophy issue is, when it first came out, there were accusations that it was a rip-off of achievements. And Sony was all like, no, they're not going to be necessary for developers or publishers that don't want them. They're not going to work the same as achievements. All of that was a lie. Trophies are now necessary for anybody who wants to release games on Sony platforms, and they are basically achievements.
But does that whip-headed moron give a damn? Of course not. He got on TV. That's what counts.
Yeah, well, I can get copper pipe without paying kickbacks now. So until that gang war starts, I'm on the webhead side.
And you'll be singing a different tune when 3 new mobs are lining up to charge you triple for that same pipe. Or just break your legs. Goodbye!
Someday, Jonah. I'm gonna get you to say something nice about me. Someday.
Going up. I guess it's made kind of awkward by trophies, by your PlayStation gamer score being a level rather than an actual number.
Fair enough. So, why'd you call? Need a date to the policeman's ball?
You got a black and white suit?
Not in this game, hopefully in the sequel.
We spent too much integrating Oscorp surveillance tech.
Worth it though, right?
It was. Until an hour ago.
Oh, that's actually another point.
Sister.
8 years in, and Spider-Man hasn't had to fight Doc Ock or the Green
Tell me
Goblin.
someone sabotaged the central server, and now all the towers are off.
It's a really weird idea with this.
Inside job?
Maybe. I'll figure it out later. Right now, we need to get the towers back online. Fast.
And you called me? Aw, that's sweet.
Two of Spidey's biggest villains. 8 years in, he's never had to fight them.
And we have no idea how to fix it.
Ooh.
Because they haven't become supervillains.
I love a challenge.
You break it, you buy it.
I thought you
that was part of the
trusted
joke that I put out there, Clem. The symbiote suit isn't in this game.
Let's take a look at this.
That's fair enough. We are going pretty late. Thanks for joining us, Bane. We'll continue this at another point, and I'll save the Scarlet suit for then. Yeah, it was the thing with
Input bands have been shifted. Subtle.
The symbiote suit not being in this game. Like, maybe it'll be in the sequel.
Copy that. Thanks for the heads up.
We just had a tower come back online. Was that you?
Not just a pretty mask, huh?
Whatever you did, any chance you could do it to the other towers?
Sure, but just so you
So
know,
this game does
I
get
had to sync up with
criticism
the
for
tower
its
to
open
fix
world
it.
design
I'm
being
seeing all crime data in the
kind of
area now.
outdated.
Looks like there's a break-in happening near me.
Great.
This is basically
Don't
you
bother.
you do
I'm on it.
these. There's a bunch of them across the city. Oh, I didn't realize that my apartment was actually on the map. But there's a bunch of them across the city, and that's how you uncover the map. It's the radar tower, or synchronizing your view from Assassin's Creed for this game. An idea that everybody had gotten over years ago, and the game got some criticism for basically doing that.
Watch my back.
Pretty sure these guys didn't forget their keys.
Guys with melee weapons bother me. I just smacked you in the head with a manhole cover. You are probably dead. That's why I wanted perfect dodge. Boom. Does whatever a spider can, bitches.
Okay, wrapped up.
Thanks for that. Now I'm seeing an assault near you.
You're in luck, Yuri. Your favorite tough but lovable, grizzled, seen-too-much detective is in town.
What? No. You promised you wouldn't do that any—
Spider Cop.
No.
Spider Cop is a running joke in this game that, gonna be honest, isn't all that funny. But what was funny was Spider-Geddon, the big spider,
Back off, creep.
the big Spider-Man crossover event that happened,
I said back off.
I think last year, which involved this Spider-Man. Like, they specifically had this Spider-Man from the game in that, which was kind of neat. He was a major character. There's a bit when they're looking at various Spider-Men they can recruit from different universes, where there is actually a Spider Cop in the background, and it's kind of funny because it's basically Spider-Man in the mask with a policeman's hat and a mustache. And it's pretty funny. It's a nice background joke. Oh, they're introducing brutes. Alright. Fighting brutes never really felt that fun.
Walk away now.
Honestly.
She's dead.
Let me go!
That isn't actually a glitch, that's how that works out every time. The webbing doesn't touch that guy's head.
I knew Jameson was wrong about you. You're a little weird, but you got a good heart.
Have you got somewhere to go?
It's like you replay this and that will always
I'm sure you can, but just in case there's a
not
place
actually
called the
grab
Feast
the guy
Center.
properly.
Seen it. I don't want charity.
They got the best wheat cakes in the city, hands down.
Mom used to make those. Haven't had any in a long time.
I don't know what
I'll
wheat
check it
cakes
out.
are.
Thanks, Spider Guy.
It's Spider-Man.
Well, I get the feeling that it would
Should be able to
essentially
spot
be
the
a
next
case
tower from
of, if somebody turned around to me and said, hey, they do the best beans on toast in this place. Whee!
From his elevated position, Spider Cop spies his
There it is.
destination. A second surveillance tower.
Whee!
Narrating yourself?
What? No! Of course not! The chief never
Spider-Man!
did understand Spider Cop. Thought he was a loose cannon.
Already regretting this.
Over there! Okay.
Bet I can modify these towers to track more than just crimes.
I could set them to track my ex-girlfriend. Spider creep. Spider creep. Does whatever a spider does.
Score. Towers are picking up all kinds of RFID signals now, including one nearby.
And of course we have the standard open world collectibles. They're not too bad in this game, and there is actually a benefit to getting them. There's a benefit to getting them, and they're kind of interesting to pick up. But here's actually a point. The windows in the game, if you can look inside them, they'll show, like, each window actually has a different inside environment. There's not an inside environment rendered there. And you can see that in particular when we look here, and there's a wall. You see there's just a wall there, but there isn't there. There we go.
Oh, wow.
It's something that you probably wouldn't notice during any of your playthroughs. But I'm the kind of person who looks at stuff like that and noticed it, and it's kind of funny.
Are scattered around the city. A menu from my first real date with MJ. Wish I could have afforded someplace fancier, but she didn't seem to mind.
So you stole the menu?
Still there? Got a robbery a few blocks away.
Spider Cop's on it. Part man, part spider, all cop.
Here we... Spider-Man. Really? A jewelry hold up in broad daylight?
Hey, fellas.
Spider-Man! Shoot him!
Boy, it's a good thing nobody's behind me. Because, you know, letting thugs openly shoot into the street might have been dangerous. One thing I do have with this game that is admittedly a nitpick
More of them? Guys, if you work this hard in a legit
is
job, you wouldn't
how
even be
every
criminals.
crime, no matter what it is, always seems to take like at least 6 guys. Like you've got the standard crimes of like muggings, and oh, somebody's being mugged by like 10 guys. And it's kind of excessive.
All right, Yuri. I'm gonna repair the last Chinatown tower now.
Don't you mean Spider Cop's gonna repair it?
Been doing a little thinking, Yuri. Policing's a young man's game. Spider Cop? Well, he's no spring chicken.
Please be going where I think you're going.
As of today, Spider Cop is officially retired.
Wasn't that a bit we did, Ninja, during when Teak was streaming this?
Spider Cop's tireless. Yuri? Yuri, you there? Guess the emotion of the moment overwhelmed her.
65 on the east side. Bush Avenue exit.
It was. Teak had no idea what was going on, though. Okay.
Not good. Can't have people taking pictures of my 3 chest hairs. Tools I need for suit repair at the lab.
Okay.
Wonder if Dr.
So, what I'm gonna do now is... Where's the lab?
Octavius is left for the day. Doctor,
That way.
how did it go?
Okay. So, it's over here. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna head to this
Committee,
backpack.
I'm so sorry I screwed things up.
Not at all, Peter. They're just nervous in the face of imminent triumph. They'll calm down. They always do.
Should I head back to the lab for cleanup?
No. I'm stepping out for dinner anyhow. We'll resume tomorrow.
Okay.
Short break, then back to creating the future.
All I did was save this kid's balloon from floating away, and he made me this. It's the little things that make it all worth it.
I feel like this is a reference to the Spider-Man 2 game, where one of the common recurring activities that would go on in the city was a kid would lose their balloon, so you'd have to catch their balloon for them. And it's interesting that this game, if that is a deliberate callback to that, it's interesting that this game calls back to it in such a light-hearted manner, because the Spider-Man game that came after it was not so light-hearted about it.
Harry's VIP card for the nightclub. Harry always tried to include me.
There we go. Yeah, there was Spider-Man 2, and then the game after that, developed by the same developer, was Ultimate Spider-Man, where you played as both Spider-Man and Venom. And the reference that Ultimate Spider-Man has to the balloon stuff is that
You guys are like little kingpins in training. So
Venom has to eat people. His health is constantly draining, and you have to eat people to keep your health up. The first person the game has you eat is a child holding a balloon. And that's the reference that game has to the balloon side missions.
knocking the ever-loving stuffing
Yeah, let's go for this one.
out of dealers is my anti-drug.
In fact, actually, this is like the last one in this area, and it's right there.
I called you guys a ride. It'll be the one with the flashing red and blue lights.
Well, it's one of those things, like, harming children is something that's always such a big deal in media. It's always played off as a big deal, and it's usually something that's avoided unless you are in, like, the edgiest of edge stuff. It's like how Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare had a shocking moment.
My injured shoulder eventually healed. The bill took a lot longer to pay.
Modern Warfare had a shocking moment. It was the nuke moment. Modern Warfare 2 had a shocking moment. It was the
Units to the lower east side.
the No Russian level, where you are masquerading as a terrorist and gun down civilians in a Russian airport with other terrorists.
I can't let him hurt that.
Modern Warfare 3's shocking moment was just that they kill a child. Which, you know, compared to the nuke and Russian terrorist massacre, feels really kind of low-key.
I realize the irony in me
And
saying
not in a
this.
good way.
I hope you've learned not to hit people.
Well, this thing, like, the nuke and the massacre at the airport are also both very important to the story.
Spider plushie! Oh, a toy designer made this prototype to get me to license my likeness. Too bad there's no way to get paid without revealing my identity.
No, they have a big purpose. Killing a child, generally, I don't feel like there's any way that can be important to a story without just feeling like it's meant to be shocking. Yeah, let's get this one. It feels cheap and lazy, and also edgy, I guess. Okay. Shame, it doesn't look like Professor's with us anymore. Because he was going to get first choice of the first costume. Oh well. Alright, anything on the way? This backpack.
All units be advised. Commercial robbery in...
Funny, my fear of heights didn't go away when I got my powers.
Really? And what was
I had
that?
to climb to the top of the Empire State to get over that.
Okay, there's a crime going on. Where? Oh yeah, no, fair enough. I guess that does establish a tone, and is very important to Joel's character. Gentlemen?
We reserve the right to refuse service and knock out any criminals. Says so right on the sign.
It's like, you want to talk about edgy child death, and I end up thinking of RoboCop 2, which was a movie that was trying so hard to outdo the first RoboCop anyway. But it's not like the first RoboCop was edgy, a lot of the violence was deliberate.
Good old-fashioned holdup.
Yeah.
Vintage crime stopping right there. Police are on their way.
Alright.
Copy that. Thanks for the heads up.
There's more. I think a bunch of the typical open world stuff that this game does isn't so bad, because I've mentioned this before, definitely on the Let's Play channel. I don't know if I've mentioned it on the stream. I think the big problem with a lot of open world games is the movement. And it's a similar thing to JRPGs. How JRPGs need to have a good combat system.
My underarm webs.
Because the combat system is like a good 80% of the game.
Looked cool though.
1080, vehicle pursuit is currently
So you need a good combat system.
Please copy.
And with open world games, traveling is a significant portion of your game. And so you need a good, fun method of travel. And a lot of open world games just don't have that. So many open world games are just you running around. And it's really boring.
Please tell me your horn plays, Dixie.
And I think Spider-Man does manage to do that better.
Glad I stopped that. Too many crazy drivers in the city.
It's definitely a big part of the reason why I'm not really into open world games anymore.
My bad.
Because the travel is just usually so boring. And I generally do make an exception for superhero games. Superhero sandbox games. Because the travel is usually better.
I thought web swinging would let me get pizzas delivered fast. And it did. Fast and smashed.
You know, I did that with Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. I did the entire opening area, and like, there are only two areas in that game. There's the opening area, and there's the second area.
Muggers never take a day off.
And they're both pretty big. But like, as soon as I had access to it, I did like the entire first area. And it was hours of work. And it turns out that, oh, if I'd played further in the story, there's actually abilities that you get through story that make a lot of it more viable and worth it.
Every two-bit mugger thinks he's the next Wilson Fisk.
There we go.
Well, they are going to jail, so...
I do get what you mean, though. Like, beyond that, I remember, like, the first time I played something like... First time I played something like Far Cry 3 or Skyrim, where you had multiple options or multiple ways of approaching a singular target. It was kind of really overwhelming. It took me a while to get used to that idea. You know, I didn't bother with that with Rise of the Tomb Raider, largely because the previous Tomb Raider game was very much the same, and none of it is worth it. It's like, I'm willing to collect the backpacks in this game, because the backpack tokens are required for getting suits. But also, you get stuff like this.
Prom boutonniere. Crushed when I had to fight Fisk. That kind of symbolizes my luck with relationships.
I like little character bits like that. I think it's fun. Hello, I'm Spider-Man.
Oh, come on, fellas. You can't keep ducking income tax like this.
Come here. It is worth playing, Ninja. It is a really fun game.
Knocking the ever-loving stuffing out of dealers is my anti-drug.
But, like, it's a fun game that I really enjoy. It's not guaranteed that you'll enjoy it, which makes it kind of awkward to recommend, especially since you're not into open world games. I'm tired of open world games, but if an open world game does it right, I can be really into it, and I think this game does do a lot of stuff right.
Hey, my Mark I web shooters. Managed to improve the storage capacity a lot since then, but the basic design's still the same.
I like that as an explanation for why we don't have to worry about webbing in this game. You can usually pick this game up pretty cheap now. It goes on sale fairly regularly and goes on sale for a decent price with the DLC.
Guys are already breaking. Wow, you all forgot your keys?
Have you played the Arkham games, Ninja? Yeah.
So, you're all going to jail, where I bet you'll be as good at breaking out as you were at breaking in.
I will say this game, when I first did it, kept me interested until the end. It's not a short game, but it kept me interested until the end, which is a rarity these days. It's a shame. You should try some of the Arkham games. Arkham Asylum is definitely a good place to start. I mean, it's the first of the Arkham series, but it's also not huge, and it's not open world. And it can be a great transitionary period if you try Asylum and enjoy Asylum, then move on to City, which is the same design, but in a fairly small open world. And then you can work your way up to this. If you get what I mean. I recommend trying them. Like, start with Asylum and see if you want to move on from there.
We're trying to improve the prosthetics hardware. I should review what Doc's been developing and double-check his work.
I don't want to do any of this. Okay, so after this, we'll definitely get the ability to change suits. I really appreciate you valuing my opinion, Ninja.
Parker! Dr. Octavius, what you got there?
Chinese. If I know you'd be here, I would have... What are you working on?
Oh, just a side project.
Of course. It's you.
I don't know what you're...
come on, Parker. It's obvious.
Let me explain.
I only wish you'd told me sooner.
I wanted to, but I was afraid that if word got out, my family might be in danger.
Well, you know me, I try to balance stuff.
Yes. I guess if you design his
Try to back up my opinions.
You're bound to be a target too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if I dislike a game, I try to see the good in it.
Safe.
I mean, The Evil Within is...
I'll leave you to it.
The Evil Within is very... It's been a rare kind of game in which I didn't see very much positive.
Check your email.
I appreciate that, Ninja.
Hope this isn't how Doc fires me.
Peter, the revelation of your second job as Spider-Man suit crafter, is that the right term? Is a reminder of the good man and partner you are. No matter how hard you work, you still find time to help others. I hope you don't mind, but I noticed the suit was a bit damaged, and I took the liberty of sketching up some of my own improvements. Attached are a few ideas I had on how you could enhance his suit and help protect Spider-Man, who does so much for this city. Looking forward to the
You know, I
incredible work
don't
that we're
like
doing
it if
and
I
changing
can't
the
give you a
world
reason
together.
why I don't like
Your
something.
partner and friend, Otto.
White spider, huh?
Oh no, I'm always willing to listen to alternate opinions.
That should do it.
Here we go. I'm always willing to be convinced that a game I don't like is good. Maybe you see something in it that I don't, that I'll appreciate. Here we go. I feel like this game misses an opportunity to be a little sillier by always going with these epic orchestral pieces, when I think it would have been fun for them to just do the 60s Spider-Man theme here, or like a reworked version of the 60s Spider-Man theme.
Coming through. Looking good, Spidey. Hello, New York. Haha. New suit, same old me.
Yeah, let's head over to there.
Oh man, thanks, Doc. Color cues.
Yeah, this suit does look nice. I then proceeded to not spend any of the game in this suit, because I could immediately make Scarlet Spider, or I could make it very soon. And then just did that. I was like, yeah, no, we got this, and then as soon as I could, I just made this and spent the rest of the game in it. I like Scarlet Spider, I'm not gonna argue that. We got Spidey Noir. Regular, damaged. And we have this, which is the... Oh, we have to find all the backpacks for this. Okay. And then all the suits that were added free in updates. The Raimi suit, which is pretty nice. I love the spider on the back. I love how big it is. The amazing Bagman that they've called Bombastic Bagman for some reason in this. Future Foundation, which is kind of neat. The upgraded suit from Far From Home, and the stealth suit from Far From Home. I don't get the point of the stealth suit not covering the fingers. Because if the idea is not to get caught, then why leave your fingerprints everywhere? Regular's fine, I'll definitely agree. The regular design is fine. I kind of dislike just how many of these suits are variations on the regular suit. And the symbiote isn't a playable option. So I guess we'll swing around in the advanced suit for a bit. I feel like it's actually cleaner than I'm used to. Like, maybe the suit actually gets a little dirty and damaged over the course of the game.
I figured out how Fisk's men are keeping his rackets running.
It's not all variation, but a lot of it is variations.
No, it's one of his legitimate businesses. Multiple investors. We can't act without cause.
But now you've got that, right?
That's why I'm hoping you can keep an eye on the locations. Tell me if you see anything suspicious.
You got it. I'll be your nosy neighborhood Spider-Man.
Hey, we don't need you here right now, right?
And not going to see it for a while, but like the DLC, each piece of DLC adds 3 costumes. Like each DLC unlocks 3 costumes each that are all new, and oh, what do you got? One of them is just a regular Spider-Man suit from Enter the Spider-Verse.
When the vulture cracked my eye lens, it almost blinded me. That was a wake-up call. Had to upgrade to a stronger material.
I really don't think it is, to be honest, Ninja, because it's just another standard suit. The difference is the proportions are a little different.
Sleep it off.
That's it. Oh, I think I broke something. He's trying to be kind. Property damage.
Gotta be a special kind of crazy to rob a storefront in the city Spider-Man protects.
Okay. What else we got? The Raimi suit is basically a variation on the standard Spider-Man suit, but it has the visual distinction of the standout silver webbing, which is kind of nice. And, you know, I think we're going to switch that for a minute. Yeah, standard Spider-Man suit. But the silver webbing on the suit is kind of neat. Plus, it brings back memories of playing Spider-Man 2. But then there's also the thing of, in motion, can you really tell that it's even different from the standard? No, and it's the same with all of them like that. How do we get access to some of these other ones? Levels, alright. Alright, so I'm just going to head towards my destination. There's this, and then there's that. Yeah, it's specifically why they call it the web suit, because they can't call it the Raimi suit, I guess. Because the webbing stands out.
Captain Watanabe gave me her cell number when she finally decided to trust me. She's risking a lot. If anyone finds out she's helping me, she'll lose her job.
Attention all units. Kidnapping reported. Any officers near Madison, proceed to the crime scene.
Oh, it's over there. Okay.
I'll set my earpiece to focus on
like sometimes
voices.
You'll get the shine off the suit, which is kind of neat. But a lot of the time, you're just not even going to notice it. But there's also, I guess, the one thing that is kind of forgivable with that is you don't have to unlock this suit, and this suit was part of a free update. Whereas, like, a lot of the other suits like that have to be unlocked. Now you're just being dicks. It's like the end of the Into the Spider-Verse costume, which, like I say, is basically a standard Spider-Man suit. Its proportions are slightly different, and its colour feels a little washed out, and that's it. You have to buy the DLC for it and then unlock it by playing the DLC. What else do we got? Future Foundation. There's a weird thing with the first Amazing Spider-Man game. The first game based on the first Amazing Spider-Man movie. It's got a bunch of unlockable costumes, One of them is the Future Foundation costume with reversed colours for some reason. Which is kind of weird.
An Oscorp visitor badge from when I interviewed there. Would have paid well, but Dr. Octavius offered the chance to really make a difference.
And also, presumably, working with Octavius is less... He's probably less rigid about work hours.
Yuri, I'm at a Fisk construction site, and there's a lot of guys here who aren't exactly constructing.
What are they doing?
I'm gonna go find out.
I'm gonna be stealthy in my bright
Just
white
got
suit.
a text from Doc. Looks like he attached an idea for a Spidey gadget. Man, does he ever stop inventing?
Guess we're gonna buy this now. Nobody will ever see me in bright white. It's one of the things with Arkham Origins. Unfortunately, that game doesn't let you use alternate costumes unless you've completed the game or are doing New Game Plus. And in all honesty, New Game Plus in that game is not fun.
This looks like it could work.
But one of the costumes in that game is Brightest Day Batman, which is basically Batman in a bright white suit. And I love the idea of just using that. So to unlock Noir, we need a base token, which we'll get for doing this. Landmark tokens will be unlocked later. One thing that kind of makes the idea of using the Brightest Day costume more reasonable
Awesome. Doc could be proud.
is the fact that it's set at Christmas and there's a lot of snow in the city. But of course, there's only snow outside.
Remember when he was a punk? That time.
Upgrade some of my skills. Yes, I can. Okay, what do we got? The throw would be appreciated, actually. And swing kick, which I've been trying to do a few times, realising I don't have it. But yeah, Arkham Origins is set at Christmas, so it's not so bad. Of course, it's not like the red and blue with the big white spider. He's much stealthier.
You do not want to be late with the shipment. Ever. Boss runs a tight ship. He does not like screw-ups. He had this guy once. He decided to stop off for
Oh no, what happened? What a terrible accident. Well, nobody's watching him. Or him. There we go. Boy, I sure hope nobody looks up and sees me in the middle of the day, where I am completely in the open. So the stealth part of this is kind of pointless. Because, like, we can go through this and we can take out all these guys stealthily, and it doesn't matter. Because you take down a certain number of them and then you go into a wave-based combat anyway. Like, we can jump down and take a bunch of them on, and we'll be in combat. Or we can take a bunch of them out stealthily, and then we'll go in combat.
The longer I gotta look for you, the worse you get hurt.
And now we start.
Get down here!
It's just that we skip the first wave if we take the time. Oh, there is stealth. There's some sections where stealth is mandatory. But, you know, thankfully, stealth isn't actually difficult in this game. We can move about. We can move about pretty quickly without being spotted. The stealth is handled fairly well, unlike Evil Within. I'd say better than Uncharted 2.
Spider-Man, turns out we've busted 4 illegal firearms dealers within a 3-block radius of that site.
Gun running. Let's see what I can do to cut down the supply.
Boss says hi.
Gotcha. Uncharted 2 stealth system was, I think, best described as a rough first attempt. I feel like the stealth system was better in Uncharted 3. Although still wasn't necessary at all.
Dang, looks like they called their buddies.
But there are points in this game where stealth is required. I haven't played 4. I should get around to it. Maybe do the entire series on stream. I've actually been wanting to take a look at the Nathan Drake collection, because I've heard it rebalances a lot of the mechanics of the first 3 games, and I'm kind of interested in seeing that. You don't have to kill anybody, jeez.
Open wide.
I do have them all. The Nathan Drake collection was pretty cheap a while ago, definitely over a year, on the US PSN, so I bought it on my US account. But with them being free now, I got them on my European account as well, so I have them twice. Yeah, I played the Uncharted games on PS3. I didn't finish the first one, I got sick of it. I did finish 2 and I finished 3. I also did Golden Abyss on Vita. Golden Abyss was pretty fun. I enjoyed 2 well enough, though there were a lot of points where I didn't enjoy it and it got really frustrating. I enjoyed 3 more than 2. Did you have Golden Abyss? Do you have a Vita to play it? I felt Golden Abyss was a lot more tolerable than the first one.
Place is locked down, Captain. Actually,
a big part of the thing with Uncharted 2 is like...
Someone finally reported shots fired, so I've got officers inbound. Good work.
When I first got my PS3, it was a common opinion that Uncharted 2 was the best game on PS3. And I think that opinion stood until The Last of Us came out. And I played it, and I didn't think it was all that great.
I should recalibrate my mapping.
It was enjoyable, there was a bunch of stuff that was really well done. Set piece wise, it's fantastic. With the first game, my big problem
of popular landmarks should do it, and I know just the one to start with.
My biggest problem with the first game was particularly just how gunfights would go on, and I didn't think they were that fun. And it ended up at a point where it felt like, okay, I go into a gunfight, and then it ends, and I move into the next room, and another gunfight starts, and it just kept going. It's like, oh, now we're in a jeep, and it's gunfight. And now we're in a boat, and gunfight. It just felt like gunfight after gunfight after gunfight. And the part I enjoyed most was the actual navigation. Because it hadn't been done to death at that point.
That'll do it. Map should be recalibrated now. Haven't done much photography since quitting the Bugle. Forgot how much I enjoy it. Should keep an eye out for more landmarks to shoot.
Yeah, pretty much. That was my problem with the first game. The second game spread them out, which was definitely a good idea. And definitely felt better for it.
It's Mr. Lee. Hello?
Peter, it's Martin Lee. I just wanted to let you know we need a little extra time to get set for May's party. I guess the cake delivery is stuck in traffic.
Oh, sure thing. Just let me know when you're ready and I'll swing by.
Great. Talk to you soon.
Okay, got some time to kill. Let's see what's happening out in the city.
There we go. Oh, I've seen it in its entirety. Though I appreciate the offer. You know, I think it's actually a real shame that the Nathan Drake collection took out the co-op campaigns for Uncharted 2 and 3. Because I really wanted to go through the co-op, especially for 3. Check out my picture of the New York Library. You know, I think one thing this game does really well with its collectible stuff is there's not many of them. Like 16 landmarks. They could have really expanded that and made it huge.
I can never give this prototype spider tracer enough range to be useful. But I did adapt the tech into my web traps, which really come in handy.
No, Uncharted 2 had a co-op campaign. Uncharted 3 had another co-op campaign.
Hi, Mr. Muggins.
That had a specific...
Mr. Parker, this call serves as your third and final warning. Eviction proceedings...
Wait, I get paid at the end of the week. I can... Ugh.
Eviction proceedings will start Friday unless full payment is received by close of business. Good day.
Yeah, good day.
Uncharted 3's co-op was a very non-canon idea, which was kind of interesting. And it had the main villain of Uncharted 1 working with the main villain of Uncharted 2.
Hey, Peter, we're all set for
which was really interesting.
Cool, I'm on my way.
And also the British version of Nathan Drake, who turns out to be a bad guy. Like, the three of them were working together in the co-op campaign for Uncharted 3. It was kind of interesting. Really all the way up here?
Officers respond.
Oh, I guess it is.
Report of an active drug deal. Incident is active near Grand Central. Any available units, 1182 along the northbound side.
Alright, let's skip that. There's a bag here.
Oh man, I meant to wash this gym shirt 6 years ago. P.U.
I was never really into the multiplayer for multiplayer's sake. It was the co-op stuff that I was interested in, but never got to play it properly. And with Uncharted 3s, I just never got to play it at all. Like I say, it's just... It's kind of a shame they took him out of the Nathan Drake collection. Well, the multiplayer was your standard stuff like deathmatch and team deathmatch, wasn't it? Which was a big part of the reason why I didn't care.
I wonder if King T'Challa got his powers from being bitten by a rape.
Wait, seriously? Okay, so this is the United Nations building, and... Seriously. That's fair enough. You enjoy what you enjoy, don't you? And I've said before, like, you don't need something to reinvent the wheel.
An assault. I better step in. Try hitting me.
You can have something that's been done like a dozen times before, but if it's done really well, it's fine. Seriously though, this is the United Nations building. Like, that's what the picture we just took said, that this is the United Nations building. And this is going on the roof. Like, okay, I don't live in New York, and I've never been to the United Nations building, except for that one time where I tried to invade it and hold the world ambassadors hostage. But I feel like there'd be more security. God damn it, it's underneath.
Almost forgot I bought this snow globe for Aunt May. I think I get my love for this city from her.
I said that you don't have to reinvent the wheel to make an enjoyable experience, Clem.
Attention units, we've got reports of muggings in the area. Officers needed near Turtle Bay.
Turtle Bay? Yep, I made a lot of friends by force.
Rhino almost killed me until I broke this chip off his horn and figured out what his costume's made of. Still wasn't easy to beat him. My back still aches just thinking about it.
Alright. Coming through.
Who wants a picture?
Full view of the street. Oh no, they're beating me up. Thanks to that woman's support, I will now totally handle this without any trouble. That's what happens, guys. You get supported by women, and then you can take out entire groups of thugs without getting hit. That's how it works. That's evolution. There are construction workers right there not doing anything. Like, isn't there going to be like a foreman to come around to tell them that they're trespassing and that this is a... I don't know, a restricted area?
Always nice to stop a mugging. Gotta stay strong in the fundamentals.
Good news. I think I smoothed things over with the grant committee.
There's a backpack over there.
Fitting tomorrow goes well. We should be okay.
See, I like how easy it is to just go out of your way a little bit to pick up a
As long as our little incident
collectible like this.
You'll be at the fitting tomorrow?
Definitely. It'll go great. We're gonna change the world, Doc.
But yeah, no, totally visible on the map if you have the towers active, which you should.
Tried mixing up a prototype web fluid at Oscorp while Harry had his internship there. Didn't work. That place has always been bad luck for me.
And like, it's just really easy, simple, and not really that inconvenient to go out your way for a collectible that you can see on the map. You don't love me anymore, Doc.
Where did I put my...
Attention units. Civilians are trapped following a car accident. Incident is active in Dutchtown. Over.
Well, does whatever a spider can. And a spider most definitely would go over there and drain their fluids and plant eggs on the insides.
Car accident down there. Looks bad. Someone's trapped in that car.
That's not in a car, that's under a car. How did that happen?
Got it.
You know, I'm sure there was a Family Guy. You don't like Spider-Man anymore. I'm sure there was a Family Guy bit of somebody falling onto a web that had been made by Spider-Man.
Okay, people are safe. I should clear out.
And then Spider-Man starts crawling along the web towards the person that's been caught on the web, clearly with the intention of eating them. There's also an interesting alternate universe Spider-Man that was shown in the Spider-Geddon crossover called Spider-Man. And Spider-Man is basically a sentient colony of spiders
Mr. Lee's
that
probably
form
in the kitchen getting
together
ready for the party.
inside a Spider-Man suit and are pretending to be human. And they definitely don't want to eat everybody.
Hey, Peter.
Hobo.
Hi, Pete. Your aunt's
Hobo.
back, I think.
Thank you, Hobo.
Hey, Peter.
Hey, Hobo.
What's up?
Just dropping in.
How do doors work? Yeah, no, Spider-Man was kind of interesting. Oh, she's right there. I walked right past her. Oh, I'm not looking for Aunt May. I'm looking for Mr. Lee.
Hey, Martin. So sorry I'm late.
You were right on time. Just keep her distracted while we get everything ready.
You got it.
Alright, I will keep her distracted
Dude.
by
My favorite
telling
aunt.
her
Peter, what a nice
that I'm not a
surprise.
virgin anymore.
Yeah, sure. Oh, there are some heavy
No,
boxes.
no. I mean, not yet. I mean, I came to, I just
They're
wanted-
seriously putting up the happy birthday banners while she's in the same room?
Peter, are you in trouble?
Always in
Do you
trouble.
need-
I'm
no,
Spider-Man.
No, I mean, I'm a little behind on my rent, but no, I'm fine.
Girl problems again, huh?
What? No, that's crazy.
I still wish you and MJ could work things out. She's a great girl.
She is, but,
The two of you would make some beautiful
Wow.
babies. Peter, what is it? Come on, you can tell me.
these past few years, you helping me through college and working here, sacrificing so much and asking for nothing. I just wish there were more people like you in the world.
He's right. 5 years ago, you walked in here and told me you were inspired by my mission to help others.
You doing all these things that a spider can,
inspires me.
Aunt May.
Thank you, May, for everything.
It's weird, and I don't
Here's to many more years of
understand it.
service.
And please stop doing things that spiders can't. That cake looks really stiff. Like, you ever had a cake like that
Thanks
it's
again for
not
setting all this up.
stale?
Oh, I just wish I could do more.
Well, May's always told me.
But,
if you
like,
help
it's
someone,
really
You
hard.
help everyone. Yeah, maybe we should send May to City Hall to have a word with the mayor.
Oh, I gotta run. Thanks again for the party and everything. It really means a lot.
Thanks for throwing my aunt a birthday party. I'm not sticking around for it.
Voicemail from Yuri. Should check it outside.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man. These loading screens always reflect the costume you're currently in, which is kind of neat. It's a visually interesting loading screen.
Voicemail from Yuri.
Hey, silent alarm at the auction house holding Fisk's estate sale just tripped. Could you check it out? Quietly? I don't want to make a scene if it's nothing.
Fisk estate sale. Sounds fun. Wonder what the Kingpin had hidden in his closets.
Wait a minute. Silent alarm has been tripped? You don't want to make a scene if it's nothing. But surely sending somebody round to check on it who is officially involved with the police is kind of... That's what you're supposed to do when a silent alarm is tripped.
Peter, I lost track of you at the party.
Yeah, I ditched you.
Had to get to the lab.
It was weird to me that you were doing things that a spider couldn't.
I just wanted to tell you how much what you said meant to me.
I made all of it up to distract you because they were putting decorations out in the same room, aren't they? I didn't mean any of it.
So many times I would have fallen apart if not for you.
Well, that works both ways, Peter. I just wanted to make sure you knew that.
May, I don't know what to say.
Oh, I think Mr. Lee needs my help. I should go. See you soon, dear. I love you.
Love you too.
Got it. Yeah, that worked. And this backpack over here.
If I was a cop, I'd love me. Anonymous text.
I feel like there's a line there that he should have finished. If I was a cop, I'd love me anonymous text. I remember this building. It was in Spider-Man on PS1. Where's that bag? Oh, there it is.
Never finished this application for the coffee bean. Would have paid more than what I'm doing now.
That's kind of sad. It's like, okay, great. You're doing important scientific work that could potentially help millions of people. You're doing it for less than you would have made at a coffee house whilst also being Spider-Man. I feel like at that point you're just being stupid. Oh, hey look, the Rand Corporation.
Need an officer on the scene.
As seen in the hit Netflix show, The Defenders.
Nice composition, if I do say so myself.
Because, you know, God knows that Iron Fist wasn't a hit show. Oh, why can't I take another picture?
That's a keeper.
There we go. That said, it's not like The Defenders was a hit either. Iron Fist was okay. It wasn't great. Though in all honesty, I would say that none of the Netflix Marvel shows were great. It's like there are bits I enjoyed. I thought Season 2 of Daredevil was absolute garbage. Season 2 of Jessica Jones I didn't enjoy. Season 3 of Daredevil was pretty good. Season 1 of Daredevil had a lot of wasted space. Season 1 of Luke Cage was pretty good. I like the first half of Season 1 of Luke Cage was pretty good. Season 1 of Punisher was okay. But I feel like at best it was a case of one season of one of the shows was actually good. The rest of it was at best okay.
I beat this wrestler right after getting my powers. Never had that much money before in my life. Or since, come to think of it.
I've not watched Season 3 of Jessica Jones or Season 2 of Punisher. Largely because I just don't care. It's not even about them ending and having nowhere else to go. I just don't care.
Is this the mosh pit? Great!
Hey, somebody's a dick. It's not even about that. Like, cancelled stuff can still be enjoyable. I watched Firefly years after it came out, and it had been cancelled. I watched Firefly after the movie came out. And it's like, you know what? It was pretty enjoyable. It wasn't amazing because, you know, what show is ever amazing in its first season? But, you know, it was an enjoyable show, and I'm glad I watched it. I've definitely wasted more time on worse TV. Oh, that's fair enough then. But then I'd say it's not like you have to rush to watch anything these days. I mean, hell, you could argue the best time to watch anything is when it's either finished or cancelled. Because then you don't have to wait for the next season. I watch so little in actual shows these days because so much of it ends up being a waste. And like, even if you find a show you really enjoy, it's a lot of time. And it's why if I actually want to sit down and watch something, I tend to watch movies. Because it's like, oh, what am I going to do? I could sit down and watch something like the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the extended versions, and watch that. Like, per movie is like 3.5, 4 hours. As opposed to sitting down and watching, say, a 13-episode season, where each episode is 1 hour. What's closer? Is it that, or is it the tower? And the tower's only there.
All units, witness reports a robbery in progress. Suspects armed. Officers needed in the area of Columbia.
It's all good, Spidey. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I hate watching something as it's coming out. Because, like, then you end up with stuff like drones, which I started watching that largely so that I would have something to talk about with people at work.
Would you look at that? Half the crime tower's back up already.
When Spider Cop's on the job, come hell or high water, the job gets...
Nope. Nope.
She'd never admit it, but the chief was warming up to Spider Cop. His casual disregard for by-the-book thinking was a breath of fresh air. She'd come around someday.
I do want to watch The Mandalorian, but I have no interest in getting myself a Disney Plus subscription for it.
old-fashioned
and
vintage crime stopping right
I
there.
can't be asked dealing with trying to stream something online
I'll text Yuri the location.
like
Cops
that
will
now.
Be here in no...
And now for listener emails. May from Queens writes, "You're so full of anger and I wish you'd get help managing it. It's terrible for your health." Now I know she speaks from a place of concern, but this is a common misconception that I have to correct. I'm not full of anger. I'm full of love.
They give you the option to unsubscribe from Jameson's rants, and I don't know why you would.
I adore this city, and I want it to be better. What you hear in my voice, it's love. Nothing but love.
Yeah, it's like, I started watching Game of Thrones, and it was basically so I'd have something to talk about with people at work. And I caught up at the end of the 5th season. And then the next 3 seasons were just a pain to watch as they were coming out. And I'm so glad that it ended, specifically because now I'm not watching anything as it's coming out. Especially since I stopped watching Supernatural, because honestly I just got tired of that shit. And it was shit. Oh, were you wrong? Oh, there it is. There's a whole subreddit dedicated to...
Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Why doesn't it ever feel like it?
There's a whole subreddit dedicated to complaining about how Game of Thrones ended up going. I started watching Battlestar Galactica and I got partway through the 2nd season and I stopped because I was bored. I'd heard Battlestar Galactica was great. Never heard anything about the ending, except that the ending couldn't possibly.
I left the Daily Bugle to go into research. Some really great
couldn't possibly live up to the series. I just stopped because I was bored. You know, that makes me question, like, how is anybody into it?
God, how much I love photography.
Season 4 redeems
Yuri
it.
said quietly.
You know, that
find a back way in.
That reminds me of the whole thing of Final Fantasy 13. It gets good 30 hours in. That's stupid.
I am losing patience. Where is the file?
There's someone else.
Yeah, that's stupid.
They must have taken it.
Those masks. Who are these guys?
There's no one here but us. We will find the file, or you will die.
This is bad. They'll kill her if I alert them. Need to pick them off silently.
Here we go, stealth.
Yuri, the silent alarm was legit. Masked gunmen and a single hostage. Looks like a heist in progress.
Copy that. Sending units your way. Keep the situation from getting worse in the meantime.
Can do.
You know what would be really fitting for this? If you ever played, yeah, definitely get that. If you ever played Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, which had 4 different Spider-Men, Spider-Man Noir was the stealth mode. And we'll go with that. Alright, 3 mods. It's pretty good, but you need a PS3 or 360 to play it now, and it's kind of pricey. No, that's Web of Shadows, which also is pretty good, but you need a PS3 or a 360 to play it, and it's kind of pricey. Oh, I didn't buy the throw, that's it. My intention has always been to do, like, all the Spider-Man, all the 3D Spider-Man games. For my Let's Play channel, and I've currently done 2. It's largely because I really enjoy a lot of the 3D Spider-Man games.
So cozy whipped up like that.
And they're always something that I always want to get into whenever a new one comes out. And, like, since the PS1 Spider-Man game,
Web him from above.
there is only 2 Spider-Man games that I haven't played. Only 2 3D Spider-Man games that I haven't played. Friend or Foe and Edge of Time. What happened to stealth takedown? Yeah, they're the only 2 that I've done Let's Plays on so far.
Wears thin.
Someone else is here. I swear. She must have the file.
If they're here, where are they?
The Spider-Man movie game is next. Not sure when I'm going to get to it, though. But it might not be a bad idea to do them for stream as well. I don't know.
Hey, what is that?
That's a camera.
This totally belongs to...
Don't move.
Buddy, if I had a nickel for every don't move...
Hey, Pete.
Well, hello.
What are you doing here?
Nurse.
Same as you. Working. At least, I was.
Oh, I think this is yours.
Yeah, thanks.
So, Robbie's got you covering a break-in for the Bugle?
Well, Robbie doesn't technically know I'm here. And it wasn't a break-in until a few minutes ago.
So this is an interesting twist with Mary Jane. She's not a model, she's not an actress, she's not aspiring to be such. She's a journalist. It's an interesting change that they use really well.
Excuse me. Hi, Mary Jane Watson. I'm covering the Fisk estate sale.
Betty Brant was
Craig said we'd do this
never
tomorrow.
really a reporter.
I like to get a jump
Oh,
on
say
things.
Teak.
Well, I don't.
Betty Brant was pretty much always a secretary.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Hey, Craig? No, sorry, it looks like we're gonna have to run something else on the cover. I don't know, maybe the expressionist piece?
You know what? I think I can make today work. Are you sure?
You sure, Teague?
No moment like the
I'm
present.
pretty sure she was only ever a secretary.
Craig? Never mind. We're good.
Let's get
Oh,
started.
that's a fair point. I actually missed a lot of that.
Look around and familiarize yourself with the items. I'll be waiting by the Baku statue when you're ready to begin.
Can do.
Alright, let's go. I do remember Gloria Grant. Mary Jane can't actually attack. Also, that is a pretty light jacket to be wearing a scarf with.
Let me know when you're ready to begin.
Sounds good.
Starting with the prize, a one-of-a-kind Kakemon Baku.
Beautiful. It's a Mifune?
Correct. Mr. Fisk has exceptional taste.
Did you know him well before his arrest?
In a professional context. I handled many of his sales. Let's move on, please.
I wonder if this is a reference to the Daredevil series where this kind of character is who became Fisk's love interest.
Now this exquisite piece exemplifies the traditional Tarashikomi puddled ink effect.
The two Neo are so imposing. I can see why Fisk liked this piece. Definitely his style.
He loved the duality. Destruction screams, but creation toils in silence.
Was there ever anything irregular in any of the sales you handled for him?
No, of course not. Not that I was aware of.
It's okay, don't mind me, I'm just having a stroke.
Notice the intricate gold inlay on this ceremonial tea set.
It's just... a friend in the DA's office mentioned that Fisk used art sales to launder stolen goods.
I'm...
Gold
sure
inlay in a
anything
tea
about
set?
that.
What?
Oh, I know. I was just wondering, now that he's arrested, if you had ever noticed anything strange.
You know what? I'm actually running short of time. Why don't we grab the cover photo while we can?
When I told my DA friend I was doing a piece on you, he mentioned your name was familiar.
Just the photo, please. Stand right there.
Are you sure there's nothing you'd like to say, maybe off the record, regarding Fisk's activities?
I don't think your readers would have any interest in...
Which readers?
Wait here, please.
Oh god, the whole who is the hobgoblin thing that lasted over 10 years.
Can't go in. Wait. I recognize that statue. Gotta get a photo. That shouldn't be here.
Hello? Craig?
Which statue?
Can you hear me? The connection is awful. Craig, I can barely hear you. Are you there?
Got it.
Craig, I'll call you back. My dear, I think it's time for you to go.
Oh, could I use the restroom real quick?
Fine. Follow me.
Thank you. This is a really lovely space.
It is. And this will be the last time you see it. The ladies is around the corner. Be quick.
Of course. Be right back.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go around here and pee on the floor. Because you were rude. Well, I do it people who are rude to me, I pee on the floors. Nobody invites me to parties anymore.
Hello, Craig. Funny you should call. Because the reporter you sent is clearly not working the puff piece we agreed upon. No, she's here now.
I've got to get into that back room. If that's
There's some defecate on the floor.
This just turned into a huge story.
What do you mean he... Reschedule. If she's not your reporter, who
interesting. Is my Chrome address bar dark? It is in incognito. Oh, I think it's been like this for a while, actually.
Who is in my auction house? Oh my god.
The music that I put up for the stream, the opening, the closing, and the be right back, I get up on YouTube in incognito mode.
And the second thing I'm going to do is collect your head, Craig.
Dang, she's pissed.
That is
It is most definitely
interesting,
a threat.
Teak.
Uh-huh.
Never really been into Hatsune Miku, honestly.
Sure, Craig.
Didn't see nothing.
Right.
Pete told me about
Officially?
this. Fisk used it to hide evidence. Why didn't the cops take it? I know this statue opens. But how? That's the Neo behind them. But it looks different.
Yeah, it's got a palm up. That's fair enough. Change can be awkward.
He's holding something.
I want to pick up a new laptop. One of the main things that puts me off the idea is having to set everything up.
Statue can move. Most common pose is latent power. Mouth closed, left arm down, right palm facing forward.
Okay.
Maybe these pieces move.
I just don't have room for a desktop.
Nice. So close. But a piece is... I've seen these before.
Yeah, which one was it holding?
Something's in one of his hands. What
The
is that?
extended one. I think it's this.
That's it. Norman Osborn. What is this?
Yeah, I just don't have the room.
What is Devil's...
Plus, there's also the thing of, if I get another laptop, I could keep this one and use this specifically as, like, the streaming recording one. Get myself a more powerful one that I will have doing all the actual intensive work.
Where's the statue?
In there.
But that whole idea just waits now for the minute.
I was on my way to the exit when I saw you.
How'd you see me? I'm so stealthy.
Says the guy I saved 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, like I couldn't take
Whoever
out
these
a
masked
guy with a
guys
gun.
are, they're after this file. But I'll never get it out of here while the place is swarming with them.
Right. Okay, you hide back there. I take out the bad guys. You make a break when it's clear.
Sounds like a plan. Good to see you, Pete.
Yeah, you too. Not exactly how I pictured us meeting again, though.
Funny.
Yeah, I thought I'd be wearing less leather.
It's exactly how I pictured it.
Yeah, it really is. I'd have to set up a specific space for it.
Focus, Pete, focus.
There are benefits to it, but, you know, there is...
Guys out before I push forward.
There are complications to it. Hey man, a woman who's into leather.
Okay, Pete. I'm hidden near the front. Give the word and I'll make a break for it.
Will do. How about that file? What's in it that these guys want so bad?
Notes on something called Devil's Breath. Fisk was hired to build a secret research lab for it. Not clear what Devil's Breath is, but it seemed to scare Fisk. He compares it to Pandora's box.
Not much shook Fisk. We need to get you and that file
Not
out of
much
here.
shook
Hang
Fisk
tight.
because he was so big. It was hard to actually move him.
There we go.
Yeah, I get that. Part of the reason, like, I have a face cam and I tried using it a couple of times, but I wasn't happy with the way it came out, the way I appear on it, because the way I sit when I stream, it looked too recliny. Which I guess is a nitpick, but
Gotta stay silent.
I consider I'm not very comfortable on camera to begin with.
那有可能是老鼠，不过
There's like, get the space to set up a separate chair and stuff would be nice, but no. Anyone else? Oh, there's someone there.
Easy does it.
Yeah, pretty much. The face cam, I think one of the best things conceptually about a face cam is that it would allow me to not necessarily talk for longer sections.
Man, Fisk had a lot of stuff.
Yeah, my solution for that, I have my light turned off because the light reflects off the TV screen with bad glare. So my solution for the cam, the stream cam, was I had a specific stream light.
No. Hide! Not cool with the hostage taking, guys.
You know, so you can always do something like that. I think the one I got was basically like a makeup light, but it served the purpose.
Never fought a ghost before.
A light powered by USB that focused specifically without reflecting off my skin and had several different tones, so it could go warmer or colder, which was pretty decent.
Seems like this is an energy thing, not a ghost thing. All good. Fight a ghost stays on the old bucket list.
You need to go down. Yeah, I think the solution with streaming with the face cam lighting wise is specific lighting. Yeah, that could probably work. A lamp would probably be good as well. It's like, most of my streams go up to my YouTube channel afterwards. I did 2 streams with the face cam. One of them is still on the YouTube channel. And I've not been entirely sure about taking it down. The other one that I did never went up to the YouTube channel. The first session of Lost Odyssey.
Huh. Looks antique. I think I know
which
someone
I
who could
didn't
help track
finish,
down where this
largely
came from.
because of the face cam thing. I didn't
job
want
for
it to be
later.
inconsistent.
I just talked to Craig. You are not the reporter he was sending. You don't even work for Heritage Arts.
Never said I did. Hi, Mary Jane Watson, Daily Bugle.
You will not write a word of what you saw
For the
here.
record, what do you know about the file those masked men stole?
That... I don't...
What about the long history of stolen goods Fisk has laundered at this auction house?
Your editor will be
My
hearing
YouTube
from our
channel
attorney.
is like, I think 13 years old now, at least. But I only started actually putting stuff on it last year, when I started doing Let's Plays.
Mix.
They're pretty fun.
Like the last 6 months never happened?
Mostly excuse to play more games, which the stream is also. And it's been good, providing motivation to actually play stuff.
Since when did Mix become Italian?
No idea, but I'm still glad he makes these fries.
Totally. Best in the city.
So, how's the grind at the Bugle?
It took me a while to get out of all that leather, MJ.
Well,
You better
I just
appreciate
got an
it.
all-caps text from Robbie about my so-called antics tonight. So it looks like I'll be meeting with a legal team. Again.
As soon as he reads the article you're gonna write, guaranteed promotion.
So, creepy mask guys. What's your take?
Just another night in the city. What's your take?
I feel like there's a bigger story there. Let's not make this all about business.
How's it going with you? Did you get that promotion?
No, but we're on the cusp of something really big.
You know Oscorp would hire you in a heartbeat, right? One phone call to hair.
Sure, but Dr. Octavius's work will help millions. I'm right where I want to be, right where I should be.
Almost sounds like it's more important than your other job.
I've never heard you talk like that before.
A lot can change in 6 months.
Like,
why did you ask me here, Pete?
It's...
You know, just dinner between friends.
Friends. Was that what we were?
Before I started doing the Let's
Then
Plays, I had a hard
you know,
time
if
motivating
that's
myself
what
to
you
actually
wanted.
play games. And
There's
now
a
the
lot of
Let's Plays are the
baggage here.
motivation, and the stream is motivation.
Sure, but is that so bad? I mean, baggage can
Sticking
carry
to the
good
schedule,
things too,
having
like,
scheduled time
like money
specifically,
and, keys,
having a reason
favorite
beyond
ball.
myself to stick to that
Do you
schedule.
remember why we broke up?
This is a trick question, isn't it?
Saved by the siren.
And
Go.
every now and then I think about how I don't generally play that much outside of the Let's Plays and the streams anyway.
Love seeing you two together again. You always were my favorites.
Thanks, Stan. I'm gonna choose to take that as a subtle middle finger to one more day. There were sirens a minute ago.
Hey, it's me. What's with the units heading down 3rd?
Looks like our old friend Herman Schultz is at it again.
Ooh, shocker.
Didn't he just get paroled?
Yeah, well, I guess it didn't take.
No worries.
Well, that's
Herman's
a
just a big cupcake.
shocker.
I'll have him back in Rikers by bedtime. Just had dinner with my ex after saving her from masked criminals. And now I'm gonna go beat up a maniac who uses shockwaves to rob people. What a perfectly normal...
I think
life.
everybody should
Parker?
appreciate opportunities to shut on one more day.
Possible drug deal in progress. Nearest unit approach with caution.
It's gonna have to wait.
I just want to make sure you haven't left any equipment you've built for your friends around the lab. It's no bother to me, but if the grant committee
There's
stops
like
by
one more
again-
day is
Don't worry,
a
Doc.
hilarious concept
But I
in
know my
that
friend
it
appreciates
highlights
you looking out
something
for
that
him.
the Clone
There's a lot of
Saga
people
did
who don't like
way
him very
better.
much.
And that was Aunt May
An
dying.
audience of sheep, please. The people who do great things in this world are those who don't let bullies like him stand in their way. People like us.
You said a mouthful, Doc. Take care.
It's like, yeah, Aunt May died during the Clone Saga. And it was a great moment. It was well done. She told Peter that she knew he was Spider-Man. And she went peacefully. And then towards the end of the Clone Saga, they retconned it and said no, it was a genetically altered actress that Norman Osborn had supplanted there. And the real Aunt May was still alive and was still basically the same person she'd been since the 60s. And, you know, we went back to the status quo. And then one more day comes along, desperate to maintain the status quo.
The Daily Bugle. Always a great paper.
And You know, let's keep Aunt May alive. And end Peter's marriage for it. Like, for fuck's sake, just kill Aunt May already. Yeah, like, the Clone Saga is garbage. There's no getting around that, and you shouldn't argue that it isn't garbage. Because it really is. But there were moments in the Clone Saga that were really good. You know, one thing I did like with Aunt May that came after the Clone Saga was when she walks in on Peter. I think it's after a fight with Morlan. And he's there in bed in his Spider-Man suit that's in tatters. And that's how she finds out he's Spider-Man, and that's great. It's progress. It's not sticking to a status quo.
Get the hell out of me.
Magnifique.
It's really you. My mom?
I honestly couldn't remember who wrote that. The main thing I could remember was that it was John Romita Jr. who did the art for it. That was it. That was all I could remember. Alright, I think we'll take Shocker down and we'll call it a night. Because it is almost 3 in the morning. This is what happens when I do multiple games. I just go way over time in an attempt to make each game actually matter.
Possible narcotics sale reported. Nearest unit, please respond. Location is Little Tokyo. Over.
Wee. It was a case of, like, I didn't want to end a little while back at what would have been a reasonable ending because it was like less than 2 hours. And then we got into something,
You're never gonna catch me.
That's what you said last time.
I don't want to hurt you.
Let's do this right. Oh, here we go. Spidey Armor Mark II, yeah. And Secret War suit also, don't like them. I never use any power other than the one you start with.
You'll just slow me down.
Wow, that's considerate.
So what was I saying?
What's the money for, Herman?
Why do you care?
Actually, I don't. Just trying to make polite conversation.
I'm done talking.
But this could be so much more rewarding if we connected on an emotional
Well, we should have gone into this straight from Persona 3. Even with him was a waste.
Come on, Herman. At least talk to me so we can make it interesting. Gotcha. Now let's talk.
I can understand the web bomb. Web bomb's a gadget though, unless you mean the web blossom.
Noted.
Wait, no, yeah, you do mean the web blossom because you used that a bunch during your stream.
Honestly, Herman, why are you robbing again? You know the police are watching your every move.
And you did make good use of it.
Kind of dumb, but
Yeah.
I didn't think you were this dumb. You must be desperate.
I suppose it's kind of, you could call it maybe a flaw of mine. I like simple but effective. And battle focus, refilling focus is really good for me. Because it gives me the focus I need to heal whenever I need it. But also to... go into takedowns. It's one of those things that you'd notice if I do, if I stream the Arkham games. As the games get more complex and give you more and more options, especially in Combat and Predator, I tend to stick very simple.
You know what, Herman? have like zero personality, but your suit is awesome. Can we talk design details? Maybe later.
It's just kind of how I roll. Simple but effective.
Good work, Spider-Man. Did you learn anything about his motive?
Yeah, he said he
I
wanted
tried,
money.
but he's not very talkative. Plus, I think he hates me.
One of the downsides of using a suit like the Scarlet Spider is a bunch of suits do have the
Wow,
the
that might be the
eyes,
nicest thing you've ever said to me.
like the eyes that will open and close in various degrees. The Scarlet
Looks
Spider
like I got
suit
some
is
free
not
time.
one of those.
Maybe now's a good time to look into that mask. Oh, it's MJ. Hey, MJ. You're up late.
Just catching up on the news. Looks like you had quite an adventure with Shocker tonight.
Yeah, he was unusually combative. Anyway, thanks again for dinner. What do I owe you?
How about a favor? You still have that mask from the gallery?
Yeah, that sounds like a bad thing.
I'm actually on my way to the feast center now to ask
What do I
Martin
owe
Lee
you?
about it.
A favor?
Martin Lee? Why?
He has a degree in art history. If anyone knows about the origins of that
He has a
mask,
degree in art history. It's totally not because he's Asian.
Like I said, I think there's a
I
bigger
promise
story
you.
here, and I plan to be the one to break it.
Sure. So I can call you, like, whenever?
Yeah, whenever, whatever.
So I guess we're talking again. Cool.
We're gonna have a booty call. Booty call, booty call. Okay, where can we end?
I understand we have another low-information caller who thinks we're better off thanks to Spider-Man. Let's see if I can set her straight. You're on with J. Jonah Jameson.
I just want to say that I've never seen Manhattan so safe and peaceful.
And it's all thanks to not the Avengers.
Okay, fair enough, I will. Then, we had police and firefighters doing a wonderful
Compare it
job.
to when, to before Spider-Man showed up versus now. When not only is there Spider-Man, there's Daredevil and Luke Cage and the Avengers.
Walking piles of sand. Nazis made of bees!
Didn't Spider-Man put all those guys in jail?
You're missing the point. They didn't exist before he came along. At best, he attracts them. But
Okay.
I've often wondered if they're in cahoots.
Who's the guy made of bees?
I've never actually heard anyone say cahoots before. Look, all I'm saying is, I'd hate to imagine what would have happened if all those guys showed up and Spider-Man wasn't here.
Another lost cause. Goodbye.
You guys have any idea who the guy made of bees is? You think you made the last one up? You never know with these things. It's like when earlier when I was when we got the call off Yuri that said that Fisk is going to the raft. And it's like, yeah, he's going there with Electro and Scorpion and a bunch of other people. I was like, yeah, it's like the raft, the prison for the most dangerous criminals, the most dangerous super criminals, like Electro and Scorpion and Rhino and Vulture, and our most dangerous foe, Stiltman. And it's like, that sounds made up, and it's really not, though. And it's one of those things, they could say anything, and you could believe that it's real, because the stuff that is real is just so ridiculous. You know, I'm gonna actually go ahead, Teak, and I'm gonna forget about Frogman. No.
All units, we have a
There we
vehicle
go.
pursuit in progress. Officers in Murray Hill.
I think
stand by
Avengers
for further
Tower is
instructions.
actually taller than this. Hacker Man's not real. This is a good looking game though. I mean, there's very clearly no cars rendered beyond a certain point. in this universe. Like, look at how empty the streets look from up here. We see a point where the cars disappear. You can't jump to your death in this. There is no fall damage. Yeah, this isn't Spider-Man 2. Where one of my favourite things to do was to grab an enemy, swing to the top of the Empire State Building, and then pile drive them all the way to the ground. Might as well end on that, though. There we go.
I better stop them before they end up in driver's ed videos.
Now let's go get them. I don't think I'll ever catch them. They're too fast. You know, this actually reminds me of basically any other game where you're expected to chase a car on foot. Well, it's better than chasing waterfalls.
Well, at least you're not texting. Here's your stuff.
You know what they say about chasing waterfalls?
Well, that's just...
You know, I think you're right, Ninja. I'll stick to the rivers and the lakes that I'm used to. I honestly hate the stopping the cars, QTEs, because it always feels very hit or miss whether or not I'll actually pull it off in time.
End of the road.
I'm glad you appreciated it, Ninja. Well, that's why you come to this stream. It ain't for the gameplay. It ain't for me being fair and balanced in my opinions. It's because at some point I'm probably gonna make a reference to music that you're aware of. Everybody loves those. Everybody loves those references to music.
Example of the explosion in mass criminals since Spider-Man came on the scene. Let's hear your thoughts. You're on with J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, I see your point.
Wee.
But Spider-Man stopped those guys today. Saying he's like them because he wears a mask isn't fair. It's like prejudice.
Wrong. Here's a little lesson in the English language, my friend. Prejudice means to prejudge someone before you know anything about them. I know all I need to about Spider-Man. He runs around causing chaos, wearing a mask so he doesn't have to answer for his shenanigans, and a flashy costume so he gets attention.
You know, you say the catwalk, and the first thing that springs to mind is actually a skit from Family Guy.
I see him getting all this coverage. What am I going to do? It's called copycat behavior, people.
I have a sneeze building up and it's irritating me. It's not actually happening yet. A skit from Family Guy where Pete is trying to flirt with women on the catwalk.
10-10, witness called in an active drug deal.
You know, I've never actually heard that song all the way through. I've never heard all of it. You know, there's actually something I discovered that might interest you guys as a way to end. Gonna be honest with you, Teak, I wasn't alive in 1991. So here's a fun thing. You see this boat? No collision. I was messing around one day and wanted to jump on a boat and found none of the boats have any collision. The good news is it means that we won't have to do that one, like the worst missions in the Spider-Man 2 movie game. The ones where you have to jump to boats. Yeah, I was actually born in 92.
Could you, like, do something? The last ball game Uncle Ben ever took me to. I need to get this framed. I could really use his advice now.
Ah, Roxxon. It turns out a bunch of my friends, a bunch of the friends I've made on Twitch are older than me. It's like being back in high school. Because my birthday's in August, and I was always the youngest in the class. But like, Klim's older than I am, Ali is older than I am, Bane is older than I am. It's like, I'm 27. I shouldn't feel so young compared to you guys. But then you guys are all over here, all your different ages, that are just older than me. And it leaves me feeling like the kid. Which is something I haven't felt in years. Klim is old. Well, that's the thing, like, you watch somebody on Twitch and shit, and a lot of the time you can't tell the ages like that.
Great. Forgot how much I love photography.
Until I just said it, you probably assumed that I was older than I am. Whereas I have a habit of assuming that people are younger than they actually are. Oh, there's a bag there.
My thesis paper on neurotechnology.
I was older
got
than
me
you.
the job with Dr.
Ugh.
Octavius.
You see the reference right there? It's pretty hard to make out. A. Signed Professor Warren. Now, Teague probably knows who Professor Warren is. Whee! Professor Warren, I think it's Miles Warren. I forget the first name. Originally appeared in... Yeah, we're ending like 5 minutes ago, we're still going. Originally appeared as Peter's college professor. And yeah, years later, he ended up being the Jackal.
Fisk beat the hell out of me with these. I almost used him for evidence, until MJ pointed out I was trespassing, so I'd probably end up in jail. Typical Parker luck.
And like the whole thing with the Jackal is he was obsessed with Gwen Stacy and eventually obsessed with Peter Parker. And it led to the whole cloning thing. It's really weird to go back to the comics before the Jackal was a thing, to when he was just Professor Warren, and then look at how he was when he was the Jackal. Because they're like two different characters. What the hell was that? I forgot about the side missions in this game. Well, see ya. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Ninja. You act as though that wasn't my intention this entire time. Okay, I'm gonna keep swinging, and with my other hand, go to the song that I've got labelled up for the rest of the stream.
I have to once again Spider-Man myself against the spurious.
Like, seriously, I always intended to end on that.
Mac Gargan, aka the Scorpion. Yes, as I fully disclosed, I bankrolled the experiment.
This is interesting because, like, Jameson in the 60s did so much shit specifically to kill Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, who is not a threat, and stops.
And got away with all of it. Like, he paid for the Scorpion to be created. He paid for, like, at least 3 separate occasions of Spider Slayers. He never went to jail for any of this.
J. Jonah Jameson refuses.
And so the idea of it in the modern day is really weird.
When MJ and I applied for this lease, I thought we'd move in together. Instead, we broke up. I can be pretty oblivious sometimes.
That's the thing, is, like, Jameson has money, but it's not as though he's rich. Is, like, really what I would have said. How the hell was that the Chrysler building?
Nice. Can't forget to check in with Mr. Lee about this mask.
Grand Central. It's one of those things that only really works in comic books in the 60s. It's like how Iron Man is rich enough to be Iron Man, or how Batman is rich enough to do all the stuff Batman does. It only works because the idea has been around for so long that we're just used to it, when money meant different things. If the concept began in this day and age, it wouldn't work. Oh hey, there's Avengers Tower, let's go there. Seriously, I think this is the tallest building. I'm pretty sure it's taller than the Empire State. Really wish the MCU had done something like this. It's like, cool, we're finally bringing in Spider-Man. They should have just had Spider-Man who is, like, already...
All officers on alert. The kidnapping was just reported.
You know, who's been around for years, who isn't just starting out. It would have been way more interesting.
Still not sure if opening this would set the Sandman free, but I'm in no hurry to find out.
But yeah, you look at that, it's pretty hard to tell. But I think this might be taller than the Empire State. But you know what? I'll give the MCU credit for not going over the origin again. But Peter Parker in high school again is just kind of boring. Because Peter Parker is always in high school. And they could have totally worked it in with the idea that Spider-Man is kind of really street level. Which is why the Avengers never really encountered him. He's street level, specifically in New York. How much have the Avengers ever done in New York? In the movies? Yeah, but the New York Times also requires you to pay a subscription fee to read its articles online. So, you know, I can kind of imagine where that money came from. The extended web shooters around the wrist and on the belt was an interesting idea for the Scarlet Spider. But that is definitely where we're going to end it today. We've gone for an extended period. It's been at least 6 hours, coming up to probably 7. If you take one thing away from today's entire stream, it should be don't play the Evil Within. Not fun. It's not good. Thank you, Clem. So, time to do the usual goodbyes. I want to thank everybody for joining me. Thank you so much for the support. I always really appreciate it. Big special thank you to everybody who joined the chat. Bane, Clem, Ninja, Teak, Star popped up at least once. Professor, thank you all so much. The chat is really like the best part of the streams. My favourite part, at least. As we've been saying a bunch recently, no idea when we'll be back. I haven't decided. Is anybody in the chat right now who isn't already? No, I don't think so. Right, we're not currently sticking to the normal schedule. Updates on the Discord, yada yada yada. There's the raft. There's a lot of urban around here. You know, maybe there's a better place you could put that than, like, between the two islands.
As I warned, Nostradamus-like, after Spider-Man recklessly took down Wilson Fisk without preparing for the consequences, our streets are now filled with aspiring gangsters, each trying to out-psycho the other. My next guest is lucky to have survived an armed robbery. Sir, we're glad you're okay.
Thanks. It was nuts. These dudes walk in like they own the place, waving guns around.
Appalling. When a businessman is afraid to make an honest living.
Yeah, it was a lifesaver that Spider-Man came along and stopped him.
Weren't you listening? He caused the problem! Forgive me for raising my voice. I'm emotional at the thought of what you went through. Jared, our caller seems shaken. Let's let him go.
I'm fine.
Goodbye!
So why would you ever unsubscribe from this? You don't get a radio when you're going around town, so this is like the best thing.
Officers needed in the vicinity of Vanderbilt.
JJ is great. I love the idea that JJ, I assume, they never really say what's happened. I assume that he retired from the Daily Bugle. But I love the idea that JJ is just doing his own podcast. I find that hilarious. Yeah, I really wanted the city to be blurry in the background, but it's really not doing it. Spider crotch. Yeah, it's pretty good. If you are into the photo modes, yes. I'm generally not, but like the amount of options this has is pretty impressive. That's actually pretty cool. CGA style. That's pretty cool. I like that. EGA? The contrast, yeah. Spider bulge. Frames. That's the frame that plays during the Deja Vu, the initial D theme song. $35, jeez. Look at this. Like there's so much here, it's unbelievable. That's out for a cover to Amazing Fantasy 15. They're pointing at his crotch. Freak, Public Menace, the Spider Bulge. That's kind of neat. That's why he always went out in public. Spider-Man. Quick, take a look inside the suit before the model fades away. You know what that means? Look at that. It's so embarrassing he turned to dust. Everyone made fun of his penis. This is what we're ending on. Once again, thank you to everybody who joined the stream. Thank you to everybody in the chat. I always really appreciate the support. Next stream, not sure when. Updates will be in the Discord. But in the meantime, thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic time of day. There we go. Right, let me pull back a bit. There we go. The finger, get the finger in the booty. Thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic time of day. And take care. I'll catch you next time, guys.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man. Is he strong? Listen, bud, he's got radioactive blood. Can he swing from a thread? Take a look overhead. Hey there goes the Spider-Man. In the chill of night, at the scene of a crime, like a streak of light, he arrives just in time. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Wealth and fame, he's ignored. Action is his reward to him. Life is a great big bang. Wherever there's a hang, you'll find a Spider-Man.